Good morning. I want to talk about spirituality, and I want to talk about spiritual evolution. But you may wonder, why do I keep talking about social issues? And the reason I keep bringing up these social issues is because spirituality encompasses everything that goes on in the world today. Jesus was a social activist. Jesus was a social activist. You see, you can't separate spirituality from what goes on every day in your life. Now, if you notice, everybody makes a big deal out of the fact that the United States supposedly separates church and state. But that's like dividing life in half. That's like dividing life in half because what you believe from a spiritual point of view is going to decide what legislations you support and what politicians that you support. So this whole nonsense about separating church and state is BS. Because what is homosexuality but a religious issue? What is feminism? A religious issue. What is racism? A religious issue. You can't separate life into two categories. You can't say that I love poor people and spiritually or religiously I'm going to give to charity and then vote for a politician who doesn't believe in charity or who says poor people are poor and it's their fault and there's nothing we can do about that situation. You can't say go to church and pray that all homeless people receive homes and then vote against raising the minimum wage so that they can afford a home. That is nonsense. Total nonsense. And see, so now if you understand, this is why, as a spiritual messenger of God, I can't deliver a spiritual message and ignore humanity. Because religion is supposed to uplift humanity and help us to evolve and to become more godlike. It's not about hocus pocus. Snap your fingers and you go to heaven. That doesn't even make any sense. I guess to make a long story short, I guess we would have to say that on the mortal plane of being, on the mortal plane of being, spirituality begins in the heart. Spirituality begins in the heart. And it manifests itself in your mind. It manifests yourself in your mind. And what I mean is by using your mind to control the false desires in your heart. Use your mind to control the false desires in your heart, such as greed, such as lust, such as lying, such as thievery. See, these things exist in your heart and are worldly things that you must control with your mind. But it all begins with controlling your passions in your heart and caring for the right things. caring about other people. That is what must remain in your heart. But your mind must remove those passions that run contrary to the development of humanity. So can we separate religion from government? But I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If you follow my post, you know good and well I'm not into religion. I'm into spirituality. Why spirituality? Because spirituality is the philosophy of life from which religions have been taken from. You see, philosophy is inclusive of all knowledge. Spirituality is inclusive of all people. Religions are exclusive, meaning if you don't believe what I believe, you are wrong. It puts a ceiling on the growth of humanity. Religion tells you, but anything that tells you this is right and everything else is wrong has locked you into a mental cage. It has locked you into a mental cage and has put a ceiling on your knowledge. Spirituality, which is the philosophy, which should be the philosophy of, of, of all religions, it should be the common denominator that allows us to grow in different directions. Just like you have doctors who are brain surgeons, heart surgeons, uh, internal medicine, chemists. You have a dermatology, just like you have a religion should be like that. It should be spirituality branching off into different directions, but it should come together for the whole of humanity. It should not be religious wars. That is a tree fighting against itself. That is division. That is division. There should be no religious wars any more than there should be state-sponsored wars. Because that is not for the purpose of humanity. Everything should be about one thing: life on earth. Everything should be about life on earth. All religions should be about life on earth. It should not be Christianity supporting slavery. You know that's wrong. And you Caucasians out there that are looking at me, you know good and well I am not a chimpanzee. You know for a fact that I am a very intelligent human being. I may not be the smartest in the world, but I am second to none when it comes to common sense. Nobody knows it all, but none of us should be instinctive and not use our common sense, our ability to rationalize. You see, that's what consciousness is. Consciousness, consciousness is your ability to rationalize, to recognize truth. That is consciousness. If you are walking around ignoring truth, that is to be unconscious. That is to not pay attention to what you do and allow people to lead you over a cliff. There has to be awareness. And unfortunately, to get back to my point, is that if you believe lies, lies can brainwash you. When you listen to lies, you become brainwashed. And unfortunately, if I lived in India and I wanted to know what was going on in India, then I would listen to news in perhaps America, perhaps in London, Germany, France, anywhere that does not have a dog in the fight or something to be gained from a lie. And that's just the way it is. I mean, you have to find truth. But I can tell you right now, what's going on in France right now is people objecting to police violence. It's not about immigration. It's about police objecting to police violence against Caucasians. Against Caucasians. And the simple fact of the matter is, once the police force is allowed to victimize African Americans and have it justified in the media, then they're going to go to Mexicans, Asians, and eventually they're going to go to white people, Caucasians. Because understand this, the people who owns the media, they have a plan. And that plan does not include all of humanity. It's about them. It's about the rich staying rich. And even you Caucasians know that if you are caught in the wrong neighborhood, the police are going to stop you and ask, what are you doing here? Go to a rich neighborhood and knock on somebody's door and see what happens. You're not going to be welcome, especially if you don't look like you got some money. And these rich politicians, if they loved us, then there would be a living wage and not a minimum wage. There would be a living wage and not a minimum wage. And this minimum wage, it does not just apply to people of color, it applies to other Caucasians as well. The rich people put you into trailer parks and put a fence around you so that no one could see you and called you trailer park trash. Of course, they're not going to advertise the fact that they did this to you. They're going to tell you the reason why you're in that trailer park is because of economics caused by black people, or whatever excuse they think that they can get you to believe. But the gist of what I'm saying is that, and I don't want to get too far off course, is that if you want the truth, you're going to have to search for it and not just believe what people tell you. Because if you just believe what people tell you, especially in the media that is owned by the rich, who want to stay rich at your expense, listen to them if you want to, but don't expect change. You know that, and I know that as well. Have a great day. God bless. And if you feel like it, like and subscribe. Talk to you later.